This is your Neepawa Town Council Debrief for the January the 17th, 2023 meeting. The debrief will take you through the key issues being discussed by Council and provide a bit more information on what they mean for the town. Because of the length of this week's meeting, we will again be airing it in two parts, and so we will have a separate debrief for each of the parts. This is part 2. In the first half of this week's Council meeting, we heard presentations from a few community groups who were seeking grants for this budget year. In the second half, we begin with reports from the sitting councillors. Councillor Nadeau gave an update from the Yellowhead Centre, which is looking forward to hosting the Viterra Men's Curling Championships in a couple of weeks now. They have also mandated the use of helmets during public skating for anyone under the age of 18. So if you are a youth or a parent who wasn't doing so already, you'll want to make sure that you have a helmet for the next public skate. Councillor Sisley has a few updates from around the committees she represents. The operational review of the Yellowhead Centre has now begun and is currently in the data gathering phases. Residents are reminded to respect the facilities down at the flats, including the ice surface, equipment, and washrooms, and to report any damage and vandalism to town staff. This is a great resource in our community and has been the victim of vandalism several times over the past few years, so please do be vigilant about that area. She also reports that the Handy Van's Facebook page is now live and sharing information with the town about the services the Handy Van offers, some of which you may not know about. Councillor Gerard indicates that the Finance Committee has met to begin the review of grant applications for this year, which will be brought to Council as a whole later on for decision making. And finally, Deputy Mayor Parrott reports on the public meeting on the new hospital, which was held last week by Shared Health and Prairie Mountain Health, and which airs elsewhere on the NECTV schedule.
Councillor Nadeau.
Okay. I just want to say those presentations were excellent, and our three presenters did a great job. Just to start, I'd like to update Council on Yellowhead. We had a Yellowhead meeting last night. There's a lot of excitement in the air with curling coming here in February. Everyone's getting all set, and we really think our community's ready to host it, so it's a really positive thing. There's talk of possibly the circus coming back again this year. And a couple small changes to note to public skating. At our meeting last night, we decided that anyone that wants to enjoy the public skating has to wear a helmet if you're under 18 years of age. And Sticks and Pucks already has that requirement, so definitely it'll add to the safety of our residents when they're using the ice surface. But a lot of really good things going on at the Yellowhead, and those were the highlights for you guys.
Very good. Any questions? And if not, Councillor Sisley.
I've got a few things to report on. We received the final approval needed, so I attended the kickoff meeting for the review of the Yellowhead Arena Complex, which was held on January 10th. The project start was delayed due to the holidays and the need for final government approvals. Phase 1 and 2 have begun. These phases will consist of current state analysis, data gathering, and assessment. Lindsay and members of the Yellowhead board will be working directly with Deloitte staff to get all that info together. But we are very excited to get the ball rolling on that. And just a quick reminder about the flats to all the users of the flats. We are fortunate to have the use of the change room and washroom facility. We ask for assistance from all residents to keep their eyes and ears open and report any vandalism or those being disrespectful to our staff, users of the rinks, fields, and facilities. It's been great to see so many people enjoying the rink over the last few weeks, and thanks to our staff for all their hard work on it. My other report is on the Handy Van. We had a meeting January 10th. We recorded 304 trips in December. Justin took the 2016 van in for its safety for this year. It does need struts and the emergency brake fixed, so that's going to be an additional $1,500 to have it safety. Handyvan has a new Facebook page. It is Handyvan Neepawa. In the 2 weeks since I created the page, we have had our posts reach 6,644 people with post engagements of 1,187. So that's far more coverage than the handymans had previously. The post section is full of information about upcoming events and just general information most people don't realize in regard to the handyman. So some examples are the casino trips. They are for anyone 55 plus, so you can call Michelle at hand at 204-476-2009, and she will get you booked in for that. It's $20 to go on the casino trip, and you get a free entree, and you get free play for that $20. So it's pretty much pays for itself. The voucher books that the handyman sells, it's 10 trip vouchers in the books. You actually save 50 cents a trip if you buy the books. And also just for cold weather, student pickup. The handyman is mandated for seniors and persons with disabilities, but they can actually also service anybody in town, basically. So since the Facebook page has been up and running, Justin's noticed a major increase in ridership. And also the handyman has an email address because they've never had an email before. So it's handymanneepawa@outlook.com. The email is checked daily, so if you do have any questions or concerns, just send them to the email.
Great. Thank you. Councilor Gerard.
Yes, on January the 9th, the Finance Committee met regarding opening of the grant applications that have come into the community for the upcoming year. Obviously, there's no decisions made at this point, but we've reviewed now what the grants are in, and we will review with all members of council going forward. At that time, we also had some conversations regarding some of the requirements of administration, what we see as some of immediate needs, some of the immediate large ticket items that are going to be facing our community. They can be problematic. They're also great opportunities for our community. But with that, we're going to, good due diligence in advance, so that way a lot of thoughts put into the finance process before we get to actual budget. But yes, and we will be reviewing some of those grants that did come in with the rest of council as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Not Deputy Mayor.
Okay, let's see. We had a really good meeting this past Thursday at the Legion that was led by Shared Health and Prairie Mountain Health. The place was packed, the questions were respectful, and the answers that we were given were very fulfilling. So it was a pretty awesome meeting for our town. Our CAO Cinchishan managed to bring in Shared Health and the hydro buildings today, together with our planning district and a couple of councillors, to clarify some hydro details that were pending, and it was a very successful meeting, and I give kudos for you to be able to bring in all the big brass like that. Our clinic committee and NADCO will be meeting this Thursday morning at 7 a.m. come usual, except for we skipped one, I think we skipped December, just because there were so many things going on, and respect for some other things that are happening. And while at the clinic yesterday doing my little thing, I was talking to a nice lady, and her parting comment to me was, our little community has a lot to offer. Bam.
Manager of Operations Denise Kay reports a mercifully quiet month in the department, with some routine servicing and oversight on ongoing projects. Residents are reminded once again to not put grease down household drains, including toilets, and that putting hot water down after them does not actually help and just moves the problem down further on the line. While there is no dedicated grease collection facility in town at this time, it can be put in the trash in sealed containers.
Thank you, Mayor Heather. All in all, things have been pretty quiet. Been attending several meetings, whether they be for the possible servicing, some of the infrastructure required, some of the planning, ongoing there. We've had some kickoff meetings with the Park Lake project as well with Tricor, just to see the updates of what's going on. Things are progressing really nicely there. Sheet piling was going a lot easier than they anticipated, so they're ahead of their schedule, I believe there. From that project, that same contractor will move over to the golf course and pursue some work over there. So they've been bouncing from job site to job site, and things move along. They're doing a bit of earthwork as well. And then you probably see things cool down there, and then we'll have to wait for spring before they can do much more work as far as the bank reconstruction works and concrete. So that's moving along. Our engineers said we've been talking about some of the proposals we've in place with them, so they're working on the designs, they're working on some of the proposals, so we'll anticipate a few more coming for us for council review in the coming months. And we'll be plugging those in the budget. Likewise with Councillor Jordan was mentioning, the budget's being built right now with a lot of emphasis on we're going to have some big expenditures coming up, so we'll have to be cautious what we budget for. Staff have been busy with snow clearing and trying to keep that. Just a note to residents, if you do notice snow pile on your corner or on your front boulevard, it's likely just temporary. Staff will come back, so just be a little patient. If it's forgotten about, give us a call. I'll check why staff have missed it, but just kind of wait a couple of days and they should be able to come by and clear it up for you. That's everything I got.
Okay, any questions? So the sheet piling was going on at Park Lake?
Yep.
And then there is to be piling as well at the golf course, correct?
Yes, they're going to put sheet piling in there as well as part of the bank stabilization project where they had some excessive erosion.
Yeah.
They'll also be switching over to that site and then they'll work on the bridge construction for the golf course because that has to be completed prior to spring.
And so that will all, the golf course will be completed totally by spring and?
It should be, there'll be some residual small work like seeding with the gravel bed work, but as far as the brunt of the work, it should all be completed.
Excellent. Okay, Councilor Jordan.
Yeah, there, just shortly after Christmas, there was some issues with some sewer backups back up in the far northeast corner of the community again. Maybe you could touch on what caused that. Again, it wasn't like instances before, but we've seen around our community.
As far as I was informed, the northeast sector of town was a grease plug again, like we've seen in several areas around town. This is directly isolated to that area, so we know that those residents in that neighborhood were the culprits of it. It wasn't passed down the pipe from somewhere else. It's unfortunate. We've tried to express more literature out to the residents. You can't put grease down the drain. There's far too much of it happening. It's causing wreaking havoc on our system. I think we're trying to run some tally on numbers of what we're spending to combat grease, and it's ridiculous what we're spending.
And letters were sent out.
Yeah, letters were sent out to that neighborhood, but yeah, if people stopped it, we'd have a heck of a lot more money to play with in the utility budget.
Just touching on that, right, I mean, the community purchased a pumper truck 8 years ago,
8 years ago.
and it's just about wore out already.
It was a used truck. We got introduced to the back combo unit. We wanted something for rapid response. And right currently now, staff are begging for a new truck. The new truck will probably run us close to $700,000. And this is 90% of that will be to combat grease plugs that are avoidable. So it's, at least it's frustrating. Staff are going out at any time of the day or evening to go and combat these, so.
Thank you. I kind of knew the answer to it. I thought it would be nice to bring it to the floor.
In our education, we should also mention that, yeah, you know, you don't pour it down the sink, but you also don't flush it down the toilet. It's the same journey.
We do.
Yeah.
All right.
And even if you put scalding hot water down with it, you're just still going to plug the, you get it past your service line, but it's still going to plug up down the pipe somehow.
Down the pipe, yeah.
Where is our oil? Where can residents take their grease and oil?
Well, grease right now, essentially if you have it separated and let it cool off, either in a little coffee cup or something like that, wipe your dishes out with paper towel, and all that stuff can go in the trash, a sealed container. Ideally not loose. We don't want it to kind of spill around the room, but if it's in a capped container, put it there. There's different areas. We do not have an official grease collection, cooking grease collection area. That's something we've been discussing for a while now. I think it'll be something to be implemented this year, so we're still running out the logistics of it.
Great, thank you.
As most of us know, the Viterra Manitoba Men's Curling Championship is coming to the Yellowhead Centre in February. The organizers have asked the town to declare it an official community event so that they can receive a community events liquor permit. Communities get 2 of these a year, and with a special request needed to get any further permits of that type. The town of Neepawa generally uses one for the Chamber Fair each year, and the permit allows some special consideration, most significantly for community events, allowing for the presence of minors at an event that serves alcohol.
Viterra Men's Curling.
So this is a request that came forward from the organizing committee for the Viterra Manitoba Men's Provincial Championships to provide them with the ability to have a social occasional permit for liquor, basically sales and whatnot, and host their event. They have asked Neepawa to declare their event as a community event so that we can obtain the liquor license.
Questions? Council Project?
There's only a certain number of community events can be held, just 2.
Yeah, we'll have another one coming in May for the fair. Can you get another? You can. You have to have special permission of the province. So you're allowed to 2, but then you need special. Should something come up that's really important we want to support, we have to make a special application.
Have we ever done that? Made an application?
I don't recall that I've been here, we have.
Okay.
Okay, yes, very exciting, February 7th to 12th. So the motion is, be it resolved that the council of the town of Neepawa declare the 2023 Viterra Manitoba Men's Provincial Curling Championship as a community event, entitling them to obtain the community events liquor permit for the period of February 7th to the 12th, 23. Moved by Councillor Sicily, seconded by Councillor Pottinger. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Finally, the town is proceeding with a new cemetery database. This is a project that has been in the works for many years and involves digitizing all the records and converting the current maps to make the cemetery much more searchable for residents and visitors. Internal staff have been working to prepare the data for transfer, and the town will be engaging a company for both the software and the GIS, or Geographic Information System, mapping of the cemetery.
Cemetery database.
So if you recall last September, and probably if you look a few years back, we talked about digitizing our records here and making them more searchable and bringing ourselves into the year 2023 rather than we started those little recipe cards. We're moving on from that. So in September, you passed a resolution allowing us to proceed with the company North Central Square to undertake the building and converting of our current Excel spreadsheet into a user-friendly, searchable, more robust and secure cemetery database. So pricing at the time included the base components, which were basically transferring data, the mapping and everything, and a yearly maintenance cost. We were anticipating when we brought that to council that we would work with our internal people and our local surveyors to actually assist in converting the mapping into the digital GIS and the AutoCAD and the shapefile overlay and whatnot, rather than going through a third party. So staff have been working diligently with our internal people who finally determined that it's just a service they cannot provide. So our resolution at that time said it was a certain fee plus the cost of this GIS mapping and whatnot. We didn't know where we were going. And he's approved that, and we approved that all those monies come from the reserve. So they have actually taken a look at the Lees and Associate, who I'm asking you to approve tonight, and said that the quote they gave us is really good value for the price of the project, and we would be, be a bit remiss for us to not accept that. So we're asking for you to approve Lees and Associate to work in conjunction with Central Square to make sure that we can move forward with this. They would like a 30% upfront. The value is just over $8,000 to do that. Staff currently are doing cleaning up of the spreadsheets that we have on hand. They're sharing all of our mapping, both paper and digital, and that includes the cremation gardens and the columbariums. And the next steps that Lees and Associates will prepare the appropriate map in an AutoCAD 3D-based drawing. All of our paper maps, our plotting plans, our aerial and satellite imagery, and any other data that we have in the surveys. Staff will then review the accuracy of all of that, and then we'll start linking all of the paper documents to the current Excel sheet and convert those and import them into the new software. They will link the cemetery records in the GIS mapping and create the digital files necessary for Central Square to insert them into the module, and of course then ongoing testing and whatnot. So we're asking for you to now approve Lee's and Associate for greater than 8,000 to be the person that will service us to get this cemetery database up and running.
Any questions?
No. So the 8,000 is the deposit, or the deposit will be a portion of the 8,000?
30% of the 8,000.
Okay.
And it'll all come, we're asking as well, that it'll come out of the cemetery.
Okay, resolution reads, whereas Resolution 2022-186 approved the purchase of cemetery database software and GIS mapping from Central Square, understanding that it has been necessary to solicit the services of Lees and Associates to complete the AutoCAD map 3D base drawing and link the map to the cemetery records. And whereas prior to proceeding, Lees and Associates would like a formal commitment in the amount of $8,305 plus taxes. Therefore, be it resolved that we approve entering into agreement with Lees and Associates for services provided to complete the mapping to augment the creation of the database by Central Square with the required funding borne by the Cemetery Maintenance Reserve. Moved by Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Nadeau. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, and we have one more bylaw.
So this is their cemetery bylaw. It's in effect actually the rates for 2022 to 24. What we're finding though is throughout COVID and whatnot, the herbarium plaques were actually increasing. So the fee we had established in our bylaw is what we've been charging people, but when the invoices have been coming in lately, we're clearly subsidizing, not major amounts, but 20, 30, 40, whatever it ended up being. The point is, we have to look beyond that now. So the only amendment in this bylaw, and I'm doing it by way of repeal of the old bylaw, just so that we can make sure we don't have amendments that we're missing. We're just putting in the bylaw now the cost and freight. That's it. We're not putting a number. We're saying whatever we receive for the invoice, that gets passed on to the customer. And then we, of course, would have to prove that we support that no matter if the increase came about or not. So that's all we're asking. Small amendment.
Any question? Be it resolved that the bylaw 3220-23, being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa providing for the regulation, maintenance, and care and operation of the Neepawa Riverside Cemetery, be now read for the first time. Moved by Councillor Kostenchuk, seconded by Councillor Nadeau. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Also covered in this half of the meeting were the financial report, the date of the 2023 tax sale, our CMP quarterly report, a resolution to support next year's Farm and Leisure Lottery, and an updated cemetery bylaw. You can view end-to-end coverage of the Town Council meeting elsewhere in the NACV schedule, including immediately following this. And remember that this week's council meeting is divided into two parts, so be sure to check out both of them. If you missed one, they are also available on the NACTV YouTube channel. We welcome your feedback on this program, and if you have any questions or items you'd like to see discussed or clarified, you can reach us 204-476-2639 or by email at nactvnews@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.